Welcome back once again to Frontliner's YouTube channel, and thank you so much for your great support always. Now, my fellow Kenyans, sometimes the policies of this country of Kenya always favor us together with our opposition leaders in this country of Kenya, because as I am talking to you right now, things are boiling nicely to our neighboring country of Tanzania ahead of presidential election, where they are only remaining with 9 days for the citizen of Tanzania to face some of their rogue politicians and good leaders on the ballot box, so that they can decide on who is going to resume the office or on who is not going to resume the office. But as I'm talking to you right now, the sitting president of Tanzania, Mama Samia Suluhu, is being accused of insisting a climate of fear through abduction, unlawful killings, and arbitrary arrest. The two main opposition presidential candidates have been locked out of the race. Ameblock wale watu wawili that have been campaigning to make sure that they challenge Mama Samia Suluhu ahead of October election in 2025, where they are only remaining with 9 days, less than 9 days for them to face some of their rogue politicians and good leaders in their country of Kenya. And before we proceed with this analysis, I want you to watch what is happening in Tanzania ahead of presidential election together with other leaders, where, as I'm talking to you right now, things are now getting complicated because the people that are going to the race with Mama Samia Suluhu have been blocked. And that is something that I've never witnessed in this country of Kenya. And that is the reason why sometimes we need to be happy because of our constitution of Kenya, because I have never witnessed any opposition leaders in this country of Kenya being locked up during election. Sijaiona. I have never witnessed with my own eyes since I started following Kenyan politics. And before you watch the video, ensure that you like our videos. When you like the video, you automatically shows your support on what I'm doing on this platform. Thank you so much for that support of the like, and you can watch the video.
Let's have a look at other stories making headlines beyond our borders now. Just 9 days before Tanzania heads to the polls, a disturbing picture is emerging of systematic repression and violence against the opposition. A damning report released by Amnesty International accuses President Samia Suluhu Hassan's government of instilling a climate of fear through abductions, unlawful killings, and arbitrary arrests. The two main opposition presidential candidates have been locked out of the race, one disqualified, the other facing treason charges. As NTV's Catherine Omwando reports.
As Tanzania prepares to hold its general election on the 29th of October, Amnesty International says the country has descended into one of the darkest periods in its democratic history. When President Samia Suluhu Hassan took office in 2021, after the death of her predecessor John Magufuli, there seemed to be hope. She lifted media bans, allowed opposition rallies, and promised constitutional reforms. But according to Amnesty International, those hopes have been shattered.
2025, the scenario has not changed. In fact, it has worsened, whereby we are seeing a wave of terror. We've seen unlawful killings happening in the country. We've seen disappearances of opposition leaders. We've seen disappearances of even very senior officials like a former ambassador of Tanzania to Cuba. We have seen closure of media outlets. We have seen closure of other online platforms.
The Tanganyika Law Society has documented 83 people missing under mysterious circumstances. Opposition leaders have been abducted, tortured, and killed. And the two main challengers to the ruling CCM party won't even be on the ballot. Luhaga Mpina was disqualified from the race, and Tundu Lissu is in detention facing treason charges.
Luhaga Mpina was an opposition leader for ACT Wazalendo, having defected from the ruling party CCM and wanting to run for presidency. The electoral body disqualified him from running, and this was challenged by the party in court. But even after the High Court making a decision that the electoral body should reinstate his candidature, found that the electoral body went ahead and still banned him, going by advice from the Attorney General and disregarding High Court ruling.
Last September, Ali Mohammed Kibao, a senior strategist for the main opposition party Chadema, was abducted from a bus in broad daylight. His body was found dumped near the Indian Ocean shores the next day. In July, another Chadema party official, Dione Kipanya, disappeared after a mysterious phone call. He hasn't been seen since. 3 young activists abducted more than a year ago remain missing.
Earlier in the year, we saw that Kenyans, Martha Karua, who's the former Minister of Justice, the former Chief Justice, Willy Mutunga, were prevented from entering the country, among others. Also shows that Tanzania, in the wake of elections, has and is also going against the East Africa Treaty in as far as freedom of people is concerned.
Suluhu's administration seems to have weaponized the law itself. New amendments to political party regulations and electoral commission laws have tightened the noose on civic space, making it nearly impossible for opposition voices to operate freely. According to Amnesty International, this election risks becoming a procedural exercise devoid of legitimacy, conducted in an environment where fear, violence and exclusion have replaced open political participation. Catherine Omwando, NTV.
All right, thanks, Catherine. Beg your pardon. Let's take another quick break.
So that is what is happening ahead of presidential campaign election in Tanzania, where the sitting president of Tanzania, Mama Samia Suluhu, is now being accused of doing unnecessarily things to some of his opponents. Why? I don't know what is happening in Africa in these 4 countries. That is called, number 1 is Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, and Congo. Because even in Uganda, Yoweri Museveni, a sitting president, have locked Dr. Kizza Besigye in prison because he used to criticize the government. Same to Tanzania. Tundu Lissu have been blocked. Anapelekwa kotini na narudi. Anapelekwa kotini na narudi. But how are we going to be like this in Africa? Why don't a sitting president organize themselves instead of locking up for some people that always criticize their government? Because it is a right. That is the work of opposition leaders. The work of opposition leaders is to make sure that the government is accountable for what they promise the citizens of this country, whether it is a Kenya, Tanzania, or Uganda, but not locking them. I don't know what is happening in Africa where opposition leaders are suffering left, right, and center. But here in Kenya, our constitution always favors us. Sometimes where here in Kenya, you can't arrest opposition leaders here in Kenya. Ati watu wanaenda kwa election na uchukue Kalonzo umshike ama uchukue Baba Raila Odinga before his death, alafu mweke kwa cell. Prison, Baba. You can't sit even in that state house. Huwezi ukaka. You can't. So sometimes we need to be happy with our policies in this country of Kenya, because the policies of this country is the reason why we are having the freedom of speech, freedom of expression, and also that constitution always favor the opposition leaders in this country of Kenya to make the government of the day available, accountable, so that they can do what they promised the citizens of this country of Kenya whenever they were campaigning, so that they can be elected. But what is happening to our neighboring country of Tanzania and Uganda is that the policies that is there is the reason why opposition leaders from Tanzania and Uganda are always suffering each and every day. And let me tell you something, my neighboring country of Tanzania. I don't think if you will never had a president like John Pombe Magufuli, who died a few years ago. Under the leadership of John Pombe Magufuli, are deemed to witness such kind of behavior where opponents are being locked up. Why do you want to lock your opponents? That one is a clear indication that the president of Tanzania, Mama Samia Suluhu, want to rig himself to the office, to the election. He want to rig himself to the office. He knows very well that Tundu Lissu, together with the opposition leaders from Tanzania, are more powerful and popular because of unfulfilled promises, together with bad leadership that is being witnessed under the watch of Mama Samia Suluhu, and that is the same situation that the citizens of Uganda are always undergoing through. The policies of Uganda and Tanzania is the reason why opposition leaders, together with the citizens of those countries, are suffering each and every day because they are using the same thing. Wanatumia kitu moja. It is not that Mama Samia Suluhu is bad, no. It is not that Yoweri Museveni is bad, no. The reason why those people are suffering is because of their policies. Even if Tanzania can have another president, another leader, without the same policies, Tanzanian people will keep on crying, protesting, and doing what each and every day and criticizing the government, not knowing that their policies is the reason why they normally protest, cry, do what, the reason why opposition leaders in their country are being harassed, being done what, and many other things. So I didn't want to talk too much on what is happening in Tanzania, but I wanted to give you exclusive updates whereby Mama Samia Suluhu have blocked some of his opponents that are also preparing the ground to challenge her ahead of presidential election, where they are only remaining less than 9 days for them to face some of the rogue politicians together with the good leaders on the ballot box, so they can decide on who is going to resume the office and also on who is not going to resume the office. Thank you so much for your great support, and may God bless you. Bye-bye.